My name is Trevor Schell, and I'd like to welcome you to the 20th International RSI Awareness Day. It's really hard to believe it's been 20 years. It still seems like yesterday that we held our first event at the old Steelworkers Hall on Frood Road with about 20 people in attendance. Today we're over 500 people, spanning almost every province and territory in Canada, as the map is showing behind us, as well as 9 US states, Mexico, Colombia, Portugal, Ireland, England, France, Switzerland, Hungary, Slovakia, Egypt, Morocco, Poland, India, Malaysia, China, almost done, South Korea, New Zealand, and Australia. Whew! So we truly have become an international event. And as you'll see later on today when the founder of RSI Day talks, it's not quite as international now as it used to be. So we're carrying on that tradition here in Sudbury, which I think is great. Anything in red on the map is actually where we're broadcasting to. So in case you didn't know where Slovakia is, now you can guess by looking at the red. I'd like to thank our sponsors without whom today would not be possible, and that includes Workplace Safety North, United Steelworkers National Office, United Steelworkers Local 6500, United Steelworkers Local 2020, Canadian Union of Public Employees National Office, the Ontario Nurses Association, the Union of Taxation Employees, De Beers Canada, Laurentian University, and the Canadian Staff Union. Some of these sponsors have actually been with us almost the full 20 years, and they still continue to support us. And without them, we really would not have an opportunity to bring this to you, both locally and internationally, free of charge. So I really appreciate their ongoing commitment to us. I would now like to first introduce my Executive Director, Kimberly O'Connell, for the Eastern Ontario and Northeastern Ontario clinics. Kimberly?
And, really a great big thank you to Trevor and his dedication not only to this day, but every day, working in his expertise in MSD and preventative ergonomics with Ontario workers. And another warm welcome to those here with us today and across the globe virtually. My name is Kimberly O'Connell. I'm an occupational hygienist by trade for about 25 years, nearly now, and the proud director of an amazing team of professionals at both the northern and eastern clinics of OCAL in Sudbury and in Ottawa. This year's theme in honor of the 20th anniversary is called Looking Back and Moving Forward. And it's just what we intend to do. And we hope to inspire you to move forward and really began through the efforts of injured workers activists. And as our speakers take us through this 20-year story, including research, emerging issues, and Ontario's new MSD prevention guidelines, I'd like to implore you to seek the impact you can have as a result of this day and this 20-year movement. The province of Ontario is striving for healthy workers and healthy workplaces with a focus on risk, which includes MSDs this year, and respiratory hazards and occupational disease prevention and workplace mental health. RSI Day in Sudbury evolved over the 20 years to be called RSI Plus Day. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce, every year we have a little plus in our RSI presentation, and this year's newest plus is aligned with our provincial initiatives and the Occupational Disease Action Plan, and in partnership with the Canadian Centre for Occupational Safety and Health is our Prevent Oc Disease portal. So we invite you to take a look at this, share it, and actually submit resources to help us strengthen this site as a really valuable and trusted information clearinghouse about occupational disease and how we can prevent it. So, its theme is Prevent Today for Health Tomorrow, which is also fitting for our RSI Day. There were 19,482 claims for MSDs in 2017 in Ontario alone, which represents approximately 1/3 of all accepted lost time claims, resulting in over 462,000 days lost from work in 2017 alone. And I ask you, what about those families? So we need your help. We can have so much. We can knowledge transfer, we can share. So in addition to your regular evaluations, which are very important, they help us run this event and improve every year. The second page, or the third, I guess, is something called We're So Glad You Joined Us. And you can do this online on your evaluations as well. We want to, so in addition, again, to the regular evaluations, we're trying to inspire action and sort of measure impact for days like today and the efforts that you make every day in the footsteps of the activists that have come before you. So if you wouldn't mind sharing with us something that you are grateful for or would be grateful for from today's event, something you learned or were reminded of from today's event, and most importantly, an action, a personal action that you will take to your workplace, to your home, to your kids. Will you review and revise your policies to the new MSD guidelines? Will you use the Ergo calculator or Ergo tools that are available on the OCAL website? Will you add submit a resource to our Prevent Oc Disease website? These are just examples. So it would be really great if you could share, and this way we can show impact of doing the things like today. And then, of course, disseminate. So D in GLAD for disseminate. Please tell us how you'll share what you've learned or propagate the action that you've taken. So again, we're very glad you came. And again, a thank you to all the background help that makes this day possible, supporting Trevor, Vonnie, Cheryl, and Tony, and people in the background and Cambrian College and all of that stuff. So it is my distinct pleasure now to keep this show on the road for all your actions to come, to introduce the president and chair of our board of directors, David Chezzi, via video.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to RSI Plus Day 2019. My name is David Chezzi, and I'm President and Chair of the Board of Directors for OCAL, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you here today. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be there with you today, as I have other commitments, but I wanted to deliver this message to you and welcome you, and thank you for taking the time to be present and to listen to and take in all of the information that you're going to hear today. This is a unique year in that it's the 20th anniversary of the Repetitive Strain Injury Day, brought to you by OCAL here in Sudbury at the EDO, Repetitive Strain Injuries. One of the most highly common injuries that exist in the workplace out of any other injuries that we see today in our workplaces. Listen to and take in all of the information that you're going to hear today. At the end of the workshop, you're going to also have the ability to provide your feedback. Given that we've provided these seminars for 20 years, we're always looking for your thoughts and your ideas to make these events the best that they can possibly be for you. I want to thank everyone involved, including Trevor Shell, who is our agronomist in Sudbury, who has been delivering these workshops for many years, along with all of the other staff and volunteers that come together to make this event possible. So given the uniqueness of this year's theme, looking back and moving forward, I encourage you to look into your workplaces, look back and see what kind of repetitive strain injuries exist, and using the information that you've gained today and in past years, use that information in moving forward to doing exactly what we're trying to do here today, and that is give you the information to prevent repetitive strain injuries from occurring in your workplaces moving forward. I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to join us both in person and virtually, and have a great day. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Jamie West, MPP for City of Sudbury, as well as the NDP Labour Critic.
It's a real honor to be here. I've been to many of these, as I have a long history in health and safety, and I remember being new on the committee and someone from management saying, you should come to this, it's a good event. And I was also a member of the LAC for OCal for a couple of years, so I've had the opportunity to talk to Dave in person. He's from Sudbury originally, and I want to say that OCal really is probably, for those of you in Ontario, it's probably the best kept secret for occupational safety and health. So it's funded through taxpayers, and it's available for every organization. All you need to have is your employer, employees, the Joint Health and Safety Committee to agree together to have them come in and help you for a variety of things, ergonomics, which relate to what's going on today. So I encourage you to take advantage of it because the services are excellent. Trevor's helped us many times during my career when I was at Valet, and very good feedback all around. So thank you for putting together a great event every year. 20 years is incredible. The program looks very fascinating, and I look forward to seeing all the topics covered today. As I mentioned earlier, health and safety is near and dear to my heart. I was a Valet employee for years, so I don't wear the high vis anymore, but I do wear a lot of orange as a New Democrat. One of the things I recently was announced with health and safety that sort of broke my heart is the changes to the minimum occupational health and safety certification training. The minimum standard, which many of us in Sudbury go beyond, is being moved from 3 days of in-person training to 6.5 hours of computer-based training. And I'm concerned about that because I believe that knowledge is important, and not just to workers, but to management as well. The more you know, the more successful you're going to be, the more informed you're going to be. And you see that with the training we're going to be doing today, how important it is. If you don't know anything about repetitive stress injuries, ergonomics, MSD injuries, you're going to continue to have them. And more training is always better for me. And that personal touch is always better to me. But thankfully, we have organizations in Sudbury, especially, we really stand out when it comes to health and safety organizations such as OCal. The 20th anniversary of OCal here and on the globe that was going around, showing how it's around the world. Similarly, the International Day of Mourning started in Sudbury and is celebrated around the world. We often say we stop counting after we hit 200 countries. So having OCal, having the International Day of Mourning, and having Krosh, I saw Tammy Ager earlier today in Sudbury, really showcases our city as, we're best in the world. We're world class when it comes to health and safety. So I'm very proud of all organizations. I just want to finish by joining the congratulations for OCal in general. This is a milestone. It's the 20th anniversary of RSI Day in Sudbury. It's unbelievable that we were looking at this 20 years ago and had the foresight to have an event like this every year 20 years ago, because for many organizations, they're sort of coming to the party in the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm very proud that OCal led the charge on this and that we're doing this in Sudbury. And I can't wait to see how the next 20 years help us improve and move on to the future. So I'm just going to say congratulations, and maybe if Kimberly and Trevor can come up to get this scroll. It says, as a provincial member of Parliament for the riding of Sudbury, it's my pleasure to present OCal with a certification of recognition as you celebrate the 20th anniversary of RSI Day in Sudbury, 1999 to 2019. Congratulations on this exciting milestone. For 20 years, your organization has been at the forefront of bringing awareness to repetitive strain injuries in order to help prevent occupational injury and disease in your community and beyond. Wishing your organization all the best for years to come. Jamie West, MPP, Deputy Sudbury.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. It's great to have you here in a completely different capacity. So before we get into playing a video on the RSI Day founder, Catherine Fennick, I also want to just make a note that in addition to being the 20th year of RSI Day, this month also marks the 30th anniversary of OCal's founding. So we're now into our 30th year, so not bad. So hopefully we'll be able to do some pretty big and exciting things this year in terms of activities. So stay tuned to that.